Westminster. U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson will be meeting New Zealand's Prime Minister and the country's Foreign Minister Jerry Brownlee for talks later today. He has been on a tour of the Asia-Pacific region. On Monday in Australia, he said Beijing could not use its economic power to buy its way out of other problems, such as its military buildup in the South China Sea. For his views on this issue, we're joined now in our studios by Chris Leahy of the Strategic Advisory Group, Blackpeak. Thank you so much for joining us, Chris. So, are the Americans too late in the game to try to engage the Chinese on this South China Sea dispute?
It seems they're very late in the game. A lot of the development has already happened. It happened under the Obama administration of the military build-up in the Spratlys, Mischief Reef.
So their hands are tied. What more can the Americans do at this point?
Well, the Chinese need the Americans, and the Americans need the Chinese. So there's an economic link. There's a political link. There's a clear need for a balance of power, and I think that the Chinese realize that as well. But China's significantly strengthened its hand over the last few years for its claims in the South China Sea as a result of its activities, while the Americans were looking in the other direction.
What about these artificial islands? I mean, they were built during the Obama administration and nothing was done. Is there still anything that the claimants can do together with the Americans?
Well, the claimants, there's a number of claimants, and the ASEAN group has tried unsuccessfully to negotiate with China on a multilateral basis. The Chinese government's been quite clever to undertake bilateral discussions, and notably with the Philippines. It's scored some victories essentially by exchanging or offering favorable loans and development loans in exchange for quiet acquiescence in the South China Sea.
So are you saying then it is a lost battle?
I'm not sure. I mean, the battles may be lost. Maybe the war can still be won, but it's not going to be a war that sees China withdraw from the South China Sea. They have built military bases, military installations on these islands. They clearly see this as their strategic backyard, and they are going to defend their interests. So it's quite a troubling position. The recent move by the Americans to sail ships through the South China Sea, the disputed area, caused a lot of disruption, a lot of anger in Beijing.
And this will definitely increase the tension in the South China Sea and relations between the two superpowers. And now you have the Chinese also increasing their presence in the region and in the global stage.
A lot of money is pouring into certain Southeast Asian countries. Malaysia is an example, the Philippines is another example. The Chinese clearly see this as their sort of sphere of influence. And this is coming at a time when Americans clearly need the Chinese to help them with the North Korean problem. There's no solution to nuclear disarmament on the North Korea without Chinese help and assistance. So on the one hand, you've got Mattis and Tillerson calling for Beijing to stop development in the South China Sea and allow that to be international waters. But on the other hand, they're asking the Chinese for the help in North Korea, to rein in North Korea. Americans aren't playing with a particularly strong hand at the moment, and the Chinese are.
All right. Thank you so much for your insights, Chris Leahy from the Blackpeak Group.